remember I got to one point where I was like, wait a second, I don't remember when the last time was that I even noticed any of my gut issues. And my skin started to clear up and I felt more joyful. I felt more happy. And, when I went to go get blood testing done, like my thyroid levels were coming back up and everything started to improve once I healed my gut. So when people ask me like, how important is gut health? I'm like, this is what it did for my life that Western medicine wasn't talking about or wasn't addressing. I was empty on the inside, and not to mention just emotionally, I wasn't in the best place, but physically my body started to really shift. And I would get chronically bloated every single day. I would look 6 months pregnant. And what was funny is I had a 6-pack abs, so I kind of looked like a Ninja Turtle, is what I always tell everybody. I couldn't use the restroom anymore. I started to battle severe constipation, acne, and I hadn't had acne since I was a teenager. It was actually so bad that I was put on Accutane when I was younger, but now it's like coming back again. And I did what most people would do. And I'm like, hey, what is happening, right? What is happening with my body? One, I had gone to school at Baylor for nutrition and dietetics. I was now a nutritionist, actually working in clinical. I was a fitness model bikini competitor. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense as to why I'm dealing with all of these health issues. I go to Western medicine and they do what they normally do. They did blood tests and a couple of other different things and said, hey, your thyroid's a little bit low. That's really the only thing that came back. So here's thyroid medication, and they sent me on my way. And things continued to get progressively worse for me. And I could now not eat anything without being in massive pain, and it wasn't just like, okay, I have some like stomach cramps or things like that after eating. Like, girl, I'm talking about like debilitating gut issues, where I remember one night actually lying on the kitchen floor crying and like having this fear of what I could even eat, but knowing that I needed to eat because I was now very malnourished, and just I felt so lost and stuck in my body. I even have a memory of myself like laying in bed and just thinking like, this isn't my life. Like, this isn't my life. This isn't real. This isn't real. How can this be happening to me? And you have to realize like a lot of my identity had also been in fitness and health. And here I am like feeling very betrayed by my body. So I continue to go the Western medicine route. I try to continue to search for answers. I do colonoscopy, endoscopy, CT scan, MRI, and I just get slapped with a label of IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, which I consider a trash can diagnosis because it's really not a diagnosis at all. Essentially, we're saying you have an irritable bowel and we're going to focus on managing the symptoms. So that's a whole nother rabbit hole I'll go into in a little bit about labels and trash can diagnoses and getting to the true root cause. But for me, Western medicine really failed me in a lot of ways. I'm struggling with gut issues at this point now. I didn't have any menstrual cycle, was put on thyroid medication. I'm depressed. I'm doing all the right things, or at least what I thought I was at that time of my life. Now, at this point, the constipation had gotten so bad that I couldn't even use the bathroom anymore without an enema. So I don't know if anyone knows what an enema is, but I could go into detail, but it's not very cute. You're putting things in your booty to try to get you to go to the bathroom, essentially. That's how I had to use the restroom every single day. So they sent me to a colorectal surgeon now at this point because, hey, I'm not using the restroom. That's really bad for your body. And I meet with the surgeon and they tell me, okay, this is probably something you've had for most of your life. What we can do is we can cut out your large intestine and we'll sew your small intestine to your rectum, and this will fix a lot of the constipation issues, right? Because a lot of stool is held in your colon. Yeah, that was my rock bottom. That was the point where I was like, something needs to shift. I was at the point where I was so desperate, I was considering to get the surgery, to be completely honest. Like, I was that desperate. And I know for a lot of people, they've been at that point of rock bottom or desperation in their health where they feel like they have to make a decision. And sometimes we want to make that easy, quick fix, right? We just like, I want to go this direction, just fix it. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I get it. Like, I was there before. But I made a decision there in that moment that I wasn't going to get the surgery, that I felt like there was something else going on that really Western medicine wasn't talking about. So that started my obsession with learning everything about gut health, because I had these Western medicine doctors, doing all these scans and these blood work and giving me all these medications, but they weren't really looking at what was truly happening in my gut. And through my own research and even doing some different functional medicine testing, looking at my gut microbiome, I actually came to find that a lot of my issues were stemming from my gut. I had a lot of bacteria imbalances, something called dysbiosis. I had a good amount of inflammation, and the bacteria in our gut, they're not just dormant. They're not just like hanging out there and doing nothing. Like, they are literally connected to every system in our body. We actually produce most of our serotonin in our gut, which is our body's main neurotransmitter that helps us feel good and have a sense of well-being. Our hormones like estrogen are metabolized in our gut. We have something called the estrobiome. Our thyroid hormones, which play a big role in our metabolism, are converted throughout the gut. And all of these things were off with me. So as I found that I had all these bacteria imbalances, which actually came from stress, some different dietary triggers, and I started actually healing my gut microbiome, which, don't get me wrong, was not a quick fix by any means. It took a lot of key targeted protocols with different supplements, addressing the stress in my life, like getting to the true root cause and not just taking a medication or one supplement. It was a combination of a lot of different things. But eventually, I could go a few days and not be in pain and go to the bathroom. Eventually, a few weeks, and I remember I got to one point where I was like, wait a second, I don't remember when the last time was that I even noticed any of my gut issues. And my skin started to clear up, and I felt more joyful. I felt more happy. And when I went to go get blood testing done, like, my thyroid levels were coming back up, and everything started to improve once I healed my gut. So when people ask me, like, how important is gut health, I'm like, this is what it did for my life that Western medicine wasn't talking about or wasn't addressing.